Hello and welcome to our channel Marstream, your public performance broadcast platform. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. You can also donate to our tip jar and support the arts and artists of Marstream by clicking the link below in the description. Check out our website, themarsh.org, for all upcoming live performances. Now, enjoy the show.
Hi, everyone. So happy to be here. Thank you, Kristen, for that warm welcome. We always love doing our monthly stream with you all with the Marsh, and we're happy to keep this going. This is our 10th month to do it, and so I'm just happy that we're here. Bridget, are you there?
Yeah, I just got here. Hi. Welcome, everybody. Yes, like Rebecca was saying, this is our 10th month, and this is going to be a fantastic almost kind of a replay from September, right? We had Jeff and Diane on the same month back then. So it's gonna be a great night. Okay, Jeff Raz has starred in many plays and circuses, from Corteo with Cirque du Soleil to Comedy of Errors on Broadway. He's a graduate of Dell'Arte International, a playwright, author of 3 novels, and a director of dozens of circus, dance, puppet, and theater productions. He is also a proud advisor to Tell It on Tuesday. So Jeff is going to be performing the Whole Megillah abridged. So let's give him a warm welcome.
Thank you. Thank you both. In a couple of nights, Jews around the world will be celebrating Purim. And part of that celebration, if you haven't been to it, is the telling of the book of Esther in its entirety. So tonight, I want to offer you, as Bridget said, the Whole Megillah, which is the book of Esther, the Whole Megillah abridged. Now it came to pass in the days of the Persian king Ahasuerus. Yes, that Ahasuerus. The Ahasuerus who ruled from India to Ethiopia, Babylonia to Brooklyn. Look, if there had been a Brooklyn, he would have ruled it. Now the Jews, who hadn't yet moved to Brooklyn, they still lived in Babylonia, they had a pet name for King Ahasuerus. Hashrosh. Isn't that sweet? Hashrosh. It means headache. And believe me, he was. In the 3rd year of his rule, the royal headache threw a party, a feast, a major cultural event. 104 days they partied. That's longer than football season. Princes and paupers, Persians and peasants, even suburban satraps. White, blue, and green silk hung from ropes of purple linen, held by silver rings on alabaster pillars, while gold couches sat on crimson cream and midnight marble floors, and wine, red wine, white wine, bubbly blush, gallons of the grape guzzled from goblets of solid gold. And while all this was going on, the Queen Vashti had a little luncheon for the wives. Ooh, did I forget to mention that the main event, the king's thing, was stag? Boys only, no girls allowed. Which was cool with Vashti the queen. She could think of a few things to do with a couple of thousand women and a budget the size of her husband's ego. And so it went, and all was well. Parallel parties, single-sex soirees, separate but equal until one day, Ahasuerus, pickled from a 3-month drunk, decided that all the guys needed to see that he had the hottest chick in the kingdom. You, boy, step over to the girls' side and tell my queen, my red-hot mama, to get her fine ass over here. And, boy, tell her to wear her new crown. And, boy, just the crown, nothing else. Queen Vashti hears the boy's orders. Go tell that half-brained husband of mine that if he wants to get his rocks off, he can take his boozer buddies down to the Lusty Lady and buy a couple of lap dances. Get a clue, boy, I'm a queen, Queen Vashti, daughter of King Balthazar, granddaughter of the great Nebuchadnezzar. I don't do naked for any man, not even him. Well, there goes the party. The little veins on Headache's head stood out like snakes, and foam ran down his royal chin. Haman, one of the king's advisors, tried to chill him out. Relax, sire. Our dear Queen Vashti has not harmed your royal highness. Foam starts to jiggle, snakes start hissing. Oh, wait, my liege, hear me out. The wrong that Vashti has done extends far beyond your magnificence. She has done us all wrong. All the viziers and wisirs and misers and limp old geysers, all the viscounts and miscounts and no-count boozers and all the princes and paupers and Persians and even all the Jews, all the men, that is. When the women of the world hear that the king has called his queen and she said, no, chump, why, the women of the world will rise up and throw us all out on our respective rear ends. Snakes sit still, foam gets wiped away. If she doesn't want to see you now, your highness, fine. Let her have her way. She doesn't need to see her king ever again. Ahasuerus heard what Haman was laying down, and he axed the queen, fired her. Not call the temp agency, update your resume, buy new shoes kind of fired. More like clean up the ashes when she's gone kind of fired. And just in case the women of the world couldn't see into the heart of this fire, letters were sent to each land in its own language, saying that every man will be master of his house, and every woman will come when she is called, and Haman was happy. You see, Haman was working his own angle. He spoke Amalek, but his wife, Zereth, spoke Persian, and Zereth refused to switch. When his buds came over for a brew, they gave Haman shit for being a wimp with such an uppity wife who won't even speak his language, and now Haman was happy, and Zereth was biting her mother tongue. The next morning, Ahasuerus woke up with a royal headache and reached over to the distaff side of the bed, but she was gone, gone, gone. Bam! It hit him. She's gone. Dead gone. Damn. He had really loved his wife, but Haman got him when his snakes were hot and his foam was frothy, and he killed Vashti before he had a chance to cool down, and now the king was bummed, big time bummed. The royal guards start talking. King is big time bummed. Who cares? He didn't give me squat for Christmas. I don't care what he gave who. Misery loves company, and he's miserable. So? So we're his company. And if he doesn't cheer up soon, he's going to make us more miserable than he is. So, what do we do? Find him a woman. No, man, he's a king. He doesn't need a woman. He needs lots of women. And beautiful ones, too. So out go the palace guard, door to door, grabbing every beautiful woman in the whole kingdom, sending one into the royal bedchamber every night, and taking her away in the morning. Old headache man cheered right up. He liked this royal dating service, really worked for him. No rejection, no commitments, didn't have to get online. It looked like Ahasuerus would be playing queen for a day, for a long time, until Esther. Beautiful Esther. Beautiful, brilliant, mysterious Esther. Esther's parents had named her Hadassah, but when they died, she was adopted by her older cousin Mordecai, who changed it to Esther. Hadassah was too Jewish, not so good for a young girl growing up in Persian-occupied Babylonia. Mordecai was a big macher Jew, but he wanted his little cousin to be safe. So when the palace guards came for Esther, of course they came, she was drop dead gorgeous, Mordecai said, don't tell them your real name or where you're from. A little misterioso goes a long way. Believe me, the king will love it and you'll live longer. And don't worry, Bubba, I will be right outside the palace gate the whole time. So Esther walks into the palace, and the king goes, "Hey, baby, what's your name?" "Esther." "And where are you from, Esther Bester?" "I can't tell you." "Come on, baby. Where do you live?" "I can't tell you." "What the? Oh, a woman of mystery. All right." Suddenly, all those women for all those months disappeared. Before dinner, before drinks, before they'd even picked a video, the crown was on Esther's head and Achashverosh was on cloud 9. "I've got a new queen! Queen Esther, baby! It's party time!" Now Esther knew that parties were quicksand for queens. And she was sly, too. She could take care of her own. "Listen, my little Hashrosh. Let's party, but let's do it my way. Don't just sit around with the boys and get drunk. That's old school. You need to have some fun. Make a statement. Get funky." "Oh, how, baby? How?" "You need to give away a bunch of money. Everyone will love you." "They'll love me? All right." Now, Esther was thinking of school budgets and Head Start and Tell It on Tuesday, but Ahasuerus was GOP all the way, went right for the taxes. But it was cool, because he flat out closed the entire Persian IRS for a whole year, and everybody played Who Wants to Be a Millionaire all day long. Everyone, that is, except Mordecai, who still waited every day at the palace gate, watching his little girl Esther, making sure she didn't slip up and do something Jewish. And while he was watching, he just happened to overhear a couple of chamberlains plotting a coup d'etat. So Mordecai warns Esther, Esther warns the king, and the king makes the chamberlains dead. Mordecai saves the king's ass, and the king gives Haman a gold watch. What? Because Haman was the one who asked Vashti so the king could find Esther, so he could marry Esther, so she could warn him about the plot to kill his royal self. So Haman gets a reward and Mordecai gets squat. Royal logic, it's great stuff. Haman's rigged out with a Rolex, oh, Mordecai's working a sundial. But Esther made sure that Mordecai got his name in the king's Palm Pilot under S for saved my ass. And now Haman is strutting his stuff, making everybody bow and kowtow and kiss his hooskow. And they did bow and kowtow and kiss his... Everybody except Mordecai, the Jew, who didn't bow to any golden calf, or in this case, gilded ass. So here comes Haman, everybody's bow, bow, kowtow, hooskow. And here's Mordecai, just standing there, reading the Sunday New York Times and burning a bush. Haman comes up, nothing. No bow, no cow, no hooskow. And now it's Haman's turn with the little snake veins in the foam. These Jew boys really piss me off. My man Morty just keeps reading and burning that bush. Everyone starts laughing at Haman because the snakes are jumping off his brow and the foam is flying off his face, and he walks away quietly, mumbling something about uppity Jews and how they're going to fry. Haman walks right down to Gallows R Us and buys himself the Lamborghini, the Taj Mahal, the Empire State of Gallows, puts it up outside the palace gates, and writes Mordecai in hot pink neon right across the top. No Jew boy's gonna mess with me, the king's main man. But getting Mordecai wasn't enough for Haman. He lays a scheme on the king. Your Highness, we have aliens among us, unclean aliens who defile our children, our women, and our whole way of life. If you let them live, they'll pollute the very blood in our veins. Everybody hates them. They need to go. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not talking about a war, a bloody, expensive war that will tear into the fabric of our society and put a dent into your social life. No, this is a no-brainer. Just say, killing a Jew is okay with you, and maybe give a little reward for the biggest collection of Jew shoes or hair or teeth. The king sat and stared for a long time Then he slowly took off his royal ring and gave it to Haman to press in the wax that sealed the decrees that were sent round the world to set the date to kill the Jews. One day, open season on Yid's Day, the 13th day of the month of Adar. The decrees spread across the kingdom like smoke from burning ovens. Before Ahasuerus could change his mind, before Esther could come to the rescue, before Mordecai even knew what was happening to his people, the fate of the Jews was sealed. When Mordecai reads the news, he runs right to Esther. Esther, Hadassah, Bubala, it's all up to you. There's nothing anyone else can do. 3 days later, Esther puts on her royalist robes and her crownest crown and orders her 2 maidest maids to come with her through the 7 doors that lead to the throne of Ahasuerus. Bang! Through door number 1, guards asleep, doesn't even get his head up before bang! They're through door number 2. Bang! 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 Slam! Slam! Here I am. King Ahasuerus turns around with blood in his eyes. Who the hell? Oh, baby, you look good. What can I do for you? I've got a little secret, but I can't tell you right now, right here. Tomorrow I'm making a brisket, nothing fancy. Some kugel, challah, little chicken soup. Come by, bring Haman, we'll talk. Now the king's a brisket freak, so he's all over the plan. Haman, get your raspy ass over here and ready to party. It's brisket time. The next night, a little nosh, a couple of seltzers, and the king's hot to know what Esther's got up her sleeve, and Queen Esther is ready to take the risk of her life. There's something I need to tell you, my dear Hashrosh. What? Your queen's gonna die. What? Not just me, but my whole family. What? When? How? Who? Did I ever mention that I'm a Jew? A big, thick silence as the king's wrath runs free. He should kill Esther just like Vashti. Vashti. He loved her, the queen Haman fried, and now Haman is trying to kill his next bride. Aha, a Jew. Now I understand. You've got some explaining to do, my main man. And he turns to Haman, who's turned white as ash, and run down the hall and starts to dash, and the guards rein him in. Now the king starts choking on the bile from his sin, and he turns to the window to catch his royal breath, while Haman begs Esther not to put him to death. He begs at her feet, at her knees on the bed. She just smiles, Mona Lisa, and Haman sees red. Hashrosh turns round and his eyes go dull green. There's his main man on top of his queen. But before he can move, Esther's foot, like Bruce Lee, sends Haman howling his high castrati. That night, the gallows were redressed in neon. Mordecai was unplugged. The new sign read, Haman. Then the king gave his ring to Esther and Morty to save all the Jews by his royal authority. And there you have it, the story of beautiful, brave, brilliant Esther, the queen who saved the Jews. And if the story ended there, we could all drink to her and to Morty, and even Hashrosh, and laugh at how Haman got better than he gave. But that second decree that the king sent out was no Oslo Accord. It didn't say, we share this world together, princes and paupers, peasants and Persians, and even Palestinians. So get a clue. Pound the swords into plowshares, learn peace in 12 languages, slip 2 straws into your frappuccino. No, that second decree didn't say killing a Jew is the wrong thing to do. It said, Jews, you can kill too. And they did. Like some Hamas-hatched nightmare, only in reverse. The Jews of the world killed 75,000 of their closest enemies. 75,000 people who would have killed them first. Haman was hanged, but he still hangs around us, my dears. He's our overblown pride, our anger, so righteous, our fears. But brave, beautiful Esther can lay down a lesson or two. She's proud to come out, proud to shout, I'm a queen, I'm a Jew. Haman ties up intestines and shakes up snake veins. But Esther's our heart, our beauty, our brains. And so went the story in the days of the Persian king Ahasuerus, yes, that Ahasuerus. The Ahasuerus who ruled from India to Ethiopia, Babylonia to Brooklyn, Srebrenica to South Lebanon, South Central and the Sudan. From Fallujah to Fruitvale, Chicago to Charlottesville, the Castro to the Capitol, from uptown Oakland to downtown Berkeley, and so the story goes. The end.